Hello, my name is Justin, and I'm here with
Chris Pershaw.
And we are going to be talking about the Harvest Market as another market minute here. And we're going to talk about how the food gets from the gardens and the farms that are in the area out to the Harvest Market. And Chris is a local farmer in this area. He has and runs a portion of this farm back here, a majority of it.
2 acres is ours, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that and some of the things that he's got going on. So stick with us. So first of all, where are we at here?
Well, we're in Elgin.
Okay.
On Randall Road. This is Biting Peace Lutheran Church's land, and these are an extra 2 acres that they have that we rent from them. They do a little bit of farming on the side, and then we plant with our vegetables or cover crop everything else.
Yeah, I really like the way it looks here because you've got the farm and then you've got these very suburban-looking homes.
Well, yeah, we started growing 7 blocks off the river in town. And so to move out here was great because we had extra land, but it's also still the city, and we're still planting in a very urban way where everything's very tightly packed.
Your farm is called Troggs Hollow, correct?
Troggs Hollow, that's correct.
Where does Troggs Hollow come from?
Ooh, okay. When I was in college, I played in a band. We never had a name. We just were Monty and Chris and whoever else was playing with, and I had a roommate who was trying to book shows for us, and he was just handing out names, different names for different places, and one of the names was Troggs Hollow. When Marcy and I got married and started growing and doing other things, we always were talked about this should be the farm or whatever we're going to do because it's a really cool name. The logo, I guess you would call it, is all in Old Norse runes. Marcy is an archaeologist. Her specialty is Viking settlement of the British Isles. And so we lived over in Scotland for a while, and it just kind of fits that the runes and the name kind of sounds like it's from that part of the world, so we just kind of went with that.
So how long has your family been a farmer, or how long have you been a farmer?
I've been growing food my whole life. I learned from my mom, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother, she lived right off of River Road over by O'Hare in Chicago. And so she had several lots and a house. So they had an orchard, and they had chickens and all sorts of things before everything got developed. My grandmother had then got land out in Lake Zurich, and they planted a huge garden. And then my mom and dad in DeKalb and then Genoa and then Hampshire. Half of our yards were always in vegetables. But yeah, everything I learned was either from my great-grandmother, you know, sitting in her garden when I was in diapers and helping her there, or from my mom and dad when we were planting stuff. But yeah, I've been growing my whole life. In fact, I went to school to become a horticulturalist at the University of Illinois.
So how much food would you say, because this isn't the only farm you have,
no,
correct? You have another farm, right?
So what we have is 8 plantable acres up there, and these 2 acres here that are plantable. Right now we have 1 acre planted here, and about 2.5, 3 acres up there. As far, I think you were going to ask how much we feed off of this.
Yeah, how much would you say you harvest annually?
I don't have weights from when we were only growing here, but I can tell you that when we were growing exclusively on this acre, we were able to feed 34 families.
So 34 families for a week.
Yeah, and that was pushing the soil a little bit, and that's why now going on, we've made a pledge to never plant more than half the land because of the way that we stress out the soil. We need to get it back healthy after we plant on it. So we have a full rotation and cover crop that goes in on the acres that we don't plant, and also, at least up in Poplar Grove, we have animals that graze the other land too.
How much do you transport to the harvest market?
It depends on the time of the year. There's certain things that sell really well and we need to bring a lot of. There's other things that not everybody wants. This time of the year, we'll bring, I don't know, a dozen Rubbermaid containers of different types of things if we have it. But then, as we get into August here and the tomatoes and the cucumbers and the squash and the peppers start ripening, we'll have a whole trailer full of stuff just for the farmer's market.
Okay, then how long would you say the process takes that goes from out here and then getting it to the harvest market?
We'd like it done in a day. I mean, that's what we really want. Generally, our schedule is pick all day Wednesday. We pack our shares, and then everything else goes in our market containers, loaded into the cooler, stays on all night, and then I leave at 3 in the morning to go do deliveries and make it back to the market for 8 o'clock setup.
Is there any way that people might be able to help?
Honestly, we do everything by hand. And the best way to help us is come on out and help us pull weeds. Because whenever we're not harvesting, we're pulling weeds. But I can say that small farms, local farms in general, the best way to help is to just meet your local farmers and learn everything you can from them. Be the person that is, understands and is there. That's the best thing you can do.
If people were interested in coming to help, how would they get in touch with you?
Okay, well, we got several ways. You can talk to me at the harvest market. Another way is you can call us. We've got a phone number. It might not sound like it's from the area, but it's an overlay. And then, of course, we have a Facebook, Twitter, and a website, and any of those you can contact us on. The other thing I guess I should say is that it's not infrequent that we have people out to the farm. The best way to find out about this is either like our Facebook page or get on our newsletter.
Is there anything last you want to share?
I think it's great that Elgin has a farmer's market like this. And in addition to that, the co-op that they're starting, I think it's everybody working on all of these things of local food is important, because local food it's not just good for you, but it also supports your local economy and your pocketbook. It's going to stay fresher longer. You're going to know exactly what's on it. It's healthier, and that money is going right back into your community.